Jack, we are live. Yes, we're live. Just want to make sure. Yes, we are live, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome to Box to Box Football. And oh my days, football's just gone mad. You know,
Yes.
this is not a Champions League prediction. This is not a Premier League prediction. This is not evaluating transfers. This is just football in general and just what's going on in the past day or so. Jack, in the last 2 days, I've been so exhausted because there's just been so much going on. I don't know how to keep up. I genuinely don't know how to keep up. My phone's blowing up. Oh, James, Mourinho got sacked. Oh, James, it's gonna happen. Look, what's name? Ed Woodward. What's it called again? Left his role in the European thing. I'm thinking, everything's gone mad. And then I'm hearing no one's gonna do it now. And it's like all that, and we're
Dude,
here.
I know. Tell me about it. It's been mentally and emotionally actually exhausting. For me, for you, I can't imagine how kind of mentally exhausting it's been for season ticket holders and people who really have kind of proper affinities for clubs. I'm talking about guys who've had season tickets for 20 years, whose dads have had season tickets for 40 years, so on and so forth. Have you got news?
Oh no!
Sorry. I thought you were. I thought you were going to release them.
Right now. I'm trying to sort out a few things at this moment.
Let's do that then, James. Let's for people watching. Let's kind of talk about what's happened. So, unless you've been living under a rock in the football world, there was an announcement for the European Super League. 12 teams, 3 from Italy, 3 from Spain, 6 from England. And they were going to break off and have their own midweek competition. They wanted to still stay in their domestic leagues, but they wanted to do this other competition as a breakaway from the Champions League and have it as an alternative. Within a 48-hour period, this has kind of fallen flat on its face, with all 6 of the English teams, with the backlash from the vast majority of fans, have now withdrawn from this. I actually don't know where to start. There's so much to get into here. Perez's comments talking about, actually they can't leave. They signed the contract last Saturday, they can't leave. Well, now that is exactly what they're doing. Supposedly, the last time I refreshed my Twitter feed, apparently UEFA have actually struck a deal with the British teams and actually paid them the money necessary to leave the European Super League, because they believe that Barcelona and Real Madrid are actually kind of the main culprits behind the formation of the European Super League. Just for me personally, and this I think is probably going to be the kind of main point of conversation and maybe where James and I differ. To me, this is the second best possible outcome. And now what I mean by that is, in my personal opinion, the best possible outcome for this European Super League palaver is that the European Super League happens.
Sammy is in the building too, so what's up, Sam? How's everything?
Ain't escaping this.
Sammy, Perez is not. No. If he does not resign in the next 48 hours, I don't know what's going on.
Dude, Perez.
This guy
Perez is slippery.
God.
He's slippery. God.
Goodness gracious me! I've never seen a man like that in my life. How can you say? Think about this right now. He said, UEFA said that any player who features in the Super League won't be able to play for their national team. Perez had the audacity to say that if that's the case, we'll make our own World Cup then. What's he gonna do next? Walk on water? Is he what's he like? It's absurd.
Dude, I know. But here's what I'll say. I wanted the European Super League to happen. I'm not gonna deny it. I think it needed to happen. But I think that this is a good alternative. I wanted the European Super League to be around 5-10 years, something like that. The domestic leagues, FIFA, UEFA, sort themselves out. And then the European Super League teams come back with their tail between their legs, and they come back, and we have football back to what it should be. I don't want anybody to get this twisted. This is not some sort of false victory that we've achieved here. If everything starts to go back to the status quo, and the status quo, by the way, everybody, is people like Sky, people like BT, people like UEFA, FIFA, dominating everything and taking the sport away from the fans, from the common fan, then we've achieved nothing. It's a funny 48-hour meme that we've created here. But if we don't actually start to see any change from these big governing bodies and these clubs in football, then we've achieved nothing.
But Jack, has football really been that bad in the last 25 years?
For me, it has. For me, it has. I spent. So, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a leak here. I spent all day scripting, writing, recording, and editing a video on why the European Super League might not be that bad of a thing. First of all, competitiveness is kind of the main thing. We talked about this a little bit in our kind of initial reaction that we did, James, with Jed. Out of the 145 different participants in the Champions League, only 13 different teams have won.
Yeah, but Jack, I'll make a point right now is that the fact of the matter is that every team that enters, only one team can win the competition every single year. Only one.
You're right. You're right. But 13 different teams across nearly 30 years, is that competitive to you?
Yes, I think the Champions League has lost its like competitiveness from the point of view of, let's say, lesser teams can actually win the competition. But to say it hasn't been competitive, I don't know where that's coming from.
The problem is, but James, it's competitive within those 13 teams, right? It's that from that you can go, oh, maybe.
Right. Sammy said there's nothing wrong with the UCL. 13 different winners. It's a lot. Thank you.
No, he's wrong. He's wrong.
I'm pretty sure that there's more than 13 different winners.
Since 1992, there are no more than 13 different winners. And James, here's why.
Wait. 13 different winners out of how many years, Jack?
1992. It's nearly 30 years.
So 30 years. That's nearly like half of it. I'm live. I can't come in.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Just to say though, because let's park the Champions League. Outside of the top six in the Premier League, of those top six teams that were a part of the competition, only 2 different Premier League teams have won: Blackburn Rovers and Leicester City. In Serie A, only 2 teams out of those top 3 Italian teams have won in that time period. That's Roma and Lazio. In La Liga, only 2 different teams have: Deportivo La Coruña and Valencia. This is not competition to me. In my opinion, James, we are never going to see Anderlecht, Slavia Prague, FC Copenhagen, Club Brugge ever win these competitions. It does not make it competitive. Deep runs are not winning the competition, bro.
Only one team can win the competition.
Yes, James, and it's one of a select few teams. It's not competitive. It is not. James, listen to me. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. When you win, you get more money. When you lose, you get less money. The gap gets bigger and bigger. It's the same teams, week in, week out. It's boring. It's getting boring. Things have to change.
Yeah, but things have to change to the point of view of, let's say, wage demands and teams offering players like more money and teams able to pay these big amounts. If that's the case, why do you want the European Super League then? Because that's only buffering the rest of Europe's elite by you wanting the European Super League. You can't have this thing of, oh yeah, you guys play there and everyone else can compete over there. That is not how football works. That's how not football should ever work.
But James, that's basically how it's working right now anyway. That's basically how it's working right now anyway. You tell me, the same teams win, the same group of teams win every year. You talk about the whole football pyramid. The whole football pyramid.
Yeah.
Out of those top 6 teams, only 2 other teams have actually won the Premier League within those time periods. I mentioned this the other day. Money in Football, Stefan Szymanski, Soccernomics. Apart from Leicester City, the only teams who have ever won a Premier League title, so from 1992 onwards, have had a top 4 wage spend. So James, that means 16 teams next year, the year after, the year after, the year after. They cannot win the league. That's not competitive.
So wait, Jack. To you, the answer is to bring in a Super League.
To me, James, no. Listen. Okay. Because this is something I want to make very clear. I'm trying to explain something a little more complex here, and people need to stop jumping to conclusions. I've heard it a lot, especially privately from friends and stuff. I want the European Super League to happen, but only so that domestic football, UEFA and FIFA, can get its act together. That's what we need.
Nah,
We
listen,
need
the way Twitter's going
dude,
off with this.
it's been, dude,
It's so
it's so good. Twitter
Oh
shouldn't
my
be
God.
free, dude. Twitter should not be free. It's wild.
It is.
But James, look, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. We need something. Things are going to get worse before they get better. Now, if this European Super League is the worst and we get back to the status quo, then part of me wants to go, well, guys, we're still taking money from the people in the game. We're still gentrifying football. The best teams are still going to win. James, you've seen the new Champions League revamp. You know there are going to be 2 allocated places based on UEFA coefficient rankings.
We got another one, Jack. Please read that out if that's okay. Who's it, Jeff? After the European Super League. After the European Super League, there are less teams who are worse off because the bigger.
Okay, Jeff 21 JB. Let me ask you this, mate. Let me ask you this. What happens if the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga actually become more exciting? Ticket prices become cheaper. It's a better product to consume than the European Super League. And then people move away from the European Super League. The Premier League sorts itself out. The Champions League becomes better. The Europa League becomes better. The domestic leagues become way, way more exciting. Tell me then that that's not going to hurt the pockets of the top teams. That's why, for me, something has to be done. We cannot have this free market approach where we just let teams spend kind of whatever they want. They always, if they win, then they go again. If other teams lose, then they don't get money. Yeah, Sammy, I saw that. Apparently he's been stuck in meetings like all day, just crapping his pants.
Well, I don't know. Also, Jeff, thank you for your comment.
Appreciate the comment.
Like, Jack, it's a bit of a tough one because I don't see, if you say football is not competitive right now, I get it to an instinct. Yes, football. Yes, the money in like football is huge, but by bringing in a European Super League and giving these teams these astronomical like fees, think about how much Real Madrid and Arsenal are going to get for joining this. What, 350 million?
But James, let me put something else to you then. Let me use this as an example. I use this in the video that may or may not be released. Let's see. I look at a team like Norwich City. Norwich City have come up this year. Now, I mentioned something about the Manchester United tax, and I referenced the Ousmane Dembele transfer, as James knows, I always like to do, from Borussia Dortmund to Barcelona, because it's one of the worst deals in history, just in terms of, okay, here we go. Have some respect for the lower layers of the pyramid, for goodness sake. Talking pure conjecture. We're not risking our beautiful game on a man desperately trying to relieve his club from crippling debt. Hey, look.
No. That's absolute facts, Jack. That's absolute fact. You think about it. Real Madrid are £900 million
So James, talk to me now about where we go from here if we keep the status quo. Sky still going to have the deals. BT still going to have the deals. Top team's going to keep on winning. Champions League still not going to be competitive. James, the competition's going to get bigger and bigger. There's going to be 100 more games in the revamp.
Comments. Also,
yes.
Guys, everyone also who's watching here, please thank you for thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. Also, please remember to like, share, and subscribe this to the channel because we got so many things.
And we appreciate. Listen to me. I appreciate that I'm not strictly in the most big supportive camp right now. I'm just trying. I want the best for this game. And the way the status quo is right now, we're not getting that.
Yeah, go on. Jeff has something to say. Go on, Jeff.
I'm not completely against this Super League, but it pisses me off to have to pay a subscription to watch. Hey, dude, me too. James, just quickly, because this is a point I made, and I know I'm taking up a lot of airtime here. If the Super League happens, right, how much, James, do you think the broadcasting rights of the Premier League go down?
Huge.
Right. Okay, so park that. Do you think maybe ITV can bid for it? Channel 4 can bid for it? We have it on terrestrial TV again? Fans who can't pay to go games. Fans who don't have to pay for Sky Sports.
For me, I very much doubt that. But like the point I want to make is, to that, Jeff, is that I'm seeing in football right now, we're hearing Sky Sports and BT coming out like, oh, they care about us.
It's rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
They're the same people that charge us $14.99 to watch Sheffield United versus Newcastle.
Dude, get out of here with that stuff.
We're not. Listen, watching this whole thing going on, there is no good guy in this situation. UEFA ain't good, right?
No.
FIFA ain't good. BT Scott, none of them are good in this situation. I think what we're all against is taking our beautiful game away from each other in the point of view of competition. That's the biggest problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, what they're doing, they're always, every single one of these people, they're going to try to exploit us as much as possible, take as much money as they can possibly can from us.
Yes.
Well, at the end of the day, we have to accept it because there's money in the game to make, and these guys are going to make as much money as they can possibly can make. But by them trying to create this Super League is, to me, the biggest kick in the face to what football is. Jack, I'm pretty sure you played grassroots football. Do you not feel like this?
Yeah, but James, but we can't. The government invited these people in. The government we need people against football campaign. Dude, for real.
Listen, if there's a chance to do that, I think everyone would sign a petition. We need to talk to Sky and all these guys.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue for me. Oh, okay, dude, I'm loving these comments. I'll be honest. It's nice to not just talk.
Keep it coming in. Yeah, Jack, go.
Nothing wrong with our game. Upsets are upsets for a reason. Cronky FSG, JG are desperate to Americanize the game to bleed every penny out of brand deals, TV rights. We need that is true. We do need the German model. We've needed that for a long time. We need that for a long time, Jack.
Jack, I totally agree with you. Like, if anyone here who's watching this right now has seen the NBA, has seen the NFL, I'm sorry. Yes, listen, I love it.
NFL no, NBA yes, NFL no.
No, but it's also franchising. It's like people. I get it. People bleed the sport because they love the sport, but there's no real connection towards it. Football, the way Manchester United created was the way Barcelona, the way Real Madrid, the way Arsenal were created. These were created by working class people. You know,
but James, listen, we invite in the billionaires. The government were like, oh, all this money for the economy, all these jobs, all these opportunities. This is so great. All the fans are even going, hey, we can sign better players. We can do all this stuff. You cannot have a free capitalist type market. And then when these free to trade capitalist people make these kind of decisions, then get mad at them. It's naive. It's not a good way to think. We need to start putting things in place so things like this can't happen and we have a more competitive game.
For me, this is where the 50+1 rule has to come in. I feel like hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully that can come in the Premier League, because we cannot have this happen ever again.
But James, are you wanting 50+1 in the Championship, League One, League Two? Because these clubs are still going to suffer.
Listen, the Premier League. This is where, for me, everyone needs to be able to. I think Jack has another thing.
Here we go. This is so stupid. The guys in their £1 million house sat there and said, "You know what? I need more money." And this was some sort. Dude, yeah, absolutely. But we have laid a foundation. We have laid a foundation for them to be able to do that.
Does it just mind boggle you how like a billionaire still wants more money? You're already a billionaire. You already have half the money in the world. Why do you want more?
You know what I think it is? I think it's like you know when like with a drug addict, right? Mm-hmm. You never get that perfect high again. I wonder if it's that kind of thing. I wonder if it's more money. I remember seeing a tweet. I don't know if it's true, but Joel Glazer said recently that he took him 2 years to understand the offside rule, and he still doesn't think he understands it. Get the hell out of here with that crap.
Did you see that video of this American actor came to watch
dude, Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah, and then he goes like, he's wearing a Man City shirt, and he goes, yeah, come on, Man United, and then you're like, if you're a real football fan, you're like, what in the hell is he on?
Oh, James, something interesting that I did not think of, which would have definitely impacted my thought on it. You know what the European Super League does? It would take the Merseyside derby away from us. I didn't think of that. It would actually take away a lot of those kind of,
like, for me, the London derbies, all that type of stuff there. Like, as much as I love seeing Real Madrid and Barcelona, like Real Madrid versus Liverpool, to me, thank you, Lurkin.
Legend.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Regular on the show. We're definitely Lurkin. We need to have you on to talk about Mourinho soon.
Look and subscribe. Like, subscribe.
You know, Jack has something to say.
Here we go, Jack. Jack, I'm loving these comments, by the way, mate. I really appreciate these. We all wanted lucrative owners to invest big in our clubs for bigger signings, ultimately more success. Right, absolutely. We dragged them here. We need to get them out. Return to German model. Power to the fans. Yes, okay, but what I would say is that's quite a powerful stance to take on these very rich and very powerful men. I don't know if they're going to go down without a fight. That's what I'd say. I agree with you, but I don't know if you can force them out like that.
Listen, we'll get on to Mourinho and like what Lurker and Jenny, we need to get you back on to talk about this whole thing because let's just shift on to Tottenham for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Them fucking Jose Mourinho, what, 6 days before a cup final? Are you? And then they're telling me it's like due to result reasons. How does that make sense in any way, shape, or form?
You know what I actually think it is, James? No Ajax and Bayern, but Spurs.
That's crazy. Listen, I was thinking like the same, especially out of all the teams that you're going to try and leave out from historical point of view.
Yeah.
Ajax are more deserving than Arsenal to get into Europe.
But Ajax would reject it, just like Bayern. Ajax would reject it.
We got another one here.
Partially to blame all these years. We've let the rich get even richer, and we have teams struggling to say yes, absolutely. But here's the problem, Jeff. Here's the problem, mate. Okay, so what happens is we work. Do you give Spurs any hope? No. Okay, we'll go to that in a second. Okay, here's the problem, Jeff. Right, we want the best for what we have, right, and that means we want to have more money, to have better teams, to pay players more, coaches, blah 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 blah. We want to have the best product. But then what that means is we do it on a meritocracy. So if you win, you get paid more. If you lose, you get paid less. If you get relegated, etc., etc. Now, what that means is that if you invest a bunch of money, as Man City, Chelsea, Manchester United, all those top 6 teams do, they'll stay at that upper echelon. And it means they will get richer and richer and perform better and better. The teams further down that yo-yo between the Championship and the Premier League and do all that kind of stuff, they'll never be able to break into the top because the divide is getting bigger and bigger, and we have to do something about that.
I just want to, before we move on to the next comment, and I want everyone to comment on this. Do you think football should have a salary cap and also a salary cap for the football teams? Guys, please comment down below. Please let us know. Let's move on to the next one from Jack. Do you give Spurs any hope with no Mourinho or Kane this weekend? Just give the trophy to Man City. The one chance that I thought that Tottenham had an opportunity was the fact that Jose Mourinho is a specialist when it comes to these finals. I think he's lost like 1 or 2 in his time, and Pep Guardiola has probably lost like 1 final during his managerial career. And like, you know who was that to? That was Jose Mourinho, the Copa del Rey. You didn't watch the match. It wasn't the most entertaining team if you were a Jose fan, but they got the job done. And that's ultimately what I felt Tottenham were going to do. Do I really want Tottenham to win a trophy? No. But it's Jose freaking Mourinho.
Against Pep.
Why, why do you not want to see that? And now we have to see Ryan Mason. And don't get me started with that. Lurkin has something to say.
Okay. And Chris Powell do well for aspiring coaches for talks and second. Dude, you're absolutely spot on. And you know what? You know what I read, which I actually believe a little bit. Hansi Flick is going to take the German national team job because old nose picker isn't doing very well over there. Jogi Löw isn't doing so hot. So Tottenham, they were a bit scared, I think, of Nagelsmann actually taking over at Bayern Munich. So Tottenham have sacked Mourinho earlier than they wanted to so that they can make initial contact straight away with Julian Nagelsmann in a hope of tempting him over to Tottenham. Now, if I'm Julian Nagelsmann, I'm taking that Bayern job quick. But you never know. If Spurs get in early and can offer him a good enough project, you don't know what could happen.
Lurkin, I need to know, why did Ryan Mason get the job over Ledley King? Because Ledley King is technically in the same position. Why did Ledley King not get the job and maybe a couple of people under him? That's just what I'm trying to understand how.
It's the same reason that even though you have more coaching experience than me, I'd still get a coaching job over you.
I'm back on that comment, Jack, that you just made. I'll move on to the next one. We're going to move on to the next one. How about Spurs?
Oh, bro, James,
no. Listen, Spurs are always Spurs are there. Arsenal are just above. Come on, mate. Come on, Jeff. Not an. Do you think 100 a week for players? I don't think so. Because think
it's
about
too low.
how much
It's too
players
low.
actually generate.
Yeah, it's too low.
Players generate so much money. I think
it's got to be percentage based, James. It has to, for it to be fair, it has to be percentage based. Because if you set a number, that means that all the teams are going to have the same level of finances. Now, where's that money going to come from? Who's going to give Fulham the same amount of money that Manchester United have on a weekly basis on wages? It's never going to happen. So what we need is a percentage of revenue. But then off that percentage of revenue, we need to make sure the revenue is evenly spread to still create a competitive league. Because right now, the revenue is not fair. It's done on a meritocracy, which makes sense because you want the best teams to be rewarded for winning. But for me, I don't know how it's going to work. And I know James isn't a huge fan of this. We need some way to give the teams at the very bottom an advantage for the next season to make them more competitive. I know you're not a fan of that, James, but...
Listen, Jack, personally, at first with the Kroenke thing, I was like, maybe fans will just want to pick on him because Arsenal ain't doing well. But Kroenke really showed his ass to me and like to every other Arsenal fan when
Jesus
probably made 2 comments during his 15 years at Arsenal. But once he hears about this European Super League where he can make all this money, he was the first one to speak up about it. And to me, the best thing to do in a situation is actually protest, you know, and like things like taking it seriously, like not going to games, like protesting, like outside stadiums, get things trending. But we need to get this guy out of here like ASAP because Arsenal will not be successful with him in charge.
Let me ask you though, James. Let me ask you because one thing that I've not been personally a huge fan of, and I understand it, but I think the Liverpool fans who went to Ellen Road and then with the manager and the players was like protesting. Jurgen Klopp and those Liverpool players don't want this to happen. You need to go to these people's, not their homes, but their offices. You need to actually go to these people. You need to find out where these people are and protest in the right kind of way. Because protesting against a Jurgen Klopp and a Jordan Henderson-led team who want nothing to do with the European Super League does nothing. It's the same with Arsenal. You're not going to go to the Arsenal squad who clearly want nothing to do with the European Super League. You need to hit Stan Kroenke where it hurts.
Jose is not top 25 manager in the world.
Hey, dude, I agree with you. Hey, right now, I agree with you, Sammy. I hate to say it, but I don't know what you look at over his last 2 things to make you think that he's in that kind of group. I agree.
I look at the fact that he won a league 5 years ago.
Yep.
He also he helped Manchester United win the last trophy. He won the treble with Manchester United, as everyone seems to remember. Like I can say, Jose's still Jose, and
the B-Tech treble
of like what he's doing. He might not be the old Jose, but he's Jose. And also, I'm gonna say this. In my opinion, Jose's peak as a manager is the greatest I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't overly argue. I can't overly argue this. Check the profile picture, lads. Is that what we got there? Liverpool dude in the mustache. Dude, I can't see it. I can't zoom in enough on that. Maybe you can find it somewhere else.
Maybe we're gonna have to look, but let's just move on to what Lurkin has to say. I think Ryan Mason's going to have his pro, but Lenny King has his A. Wait, Lenny King only has his A?
Oh, is that true? Dude, well, how old is Ryan Mason? 25? Like, come on.
Well, like to be fair, didn't Roberto Di Matteo not what's it called again? He was Chelsea manager and like he only got his A the day of the Champions League final, right? That might have changed during the time. Personally, I would like to see Chris Wood in charge as he has badges and experience, but I hope all 3.
Dude, you know what? Here's one thing, James, and let me know what you think about this. Maybe Daniel Levy and maybe Tottenham, and who knows how long Daniel Levy's going to be left, by the way. But who knows? Maybe that new manager bump thing is going to motivate this Tottenham team. And maybe we'll see some sort of an upset. Of course, it would be against the odds. But we've seen it before, haven't we? We've seen it before.
Do you know what it is right now? Lurkin, I'm going to see, can I send you a little link right now? See if we can get you to hop on. If you're if you're able to, let me see, can I send a little link? Or like, will they let me send a link? Me. I don't know if they'll let me send a link.
Anybody watching, let us know.
Try and see, can I send you a link?
Anybody watching? Any other kind of comments or questions about the European Super League and obviously the fallout from that? Because there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack. Jack Breslin, nobody can find Kroenke. He's so elusive. Troops is hunting for him. Dude, I hear you. Trust me. Like the problem with these guys is they clearly care about other stuff. During this whole thing, the Glazers have won not this whole thing, but during these discussions, the Glazers have won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Stan Kroenke is traded for Matthew Stafford from the Detroit Lions, and he thinks he's in a chance for winning a Super Bowl next year. FSG, and killing me. These guys don't care. They're more likely to be found in the States, touching themselves over their NFL teams. That's all I'll kind of say here. James, can you go down to the next comment?
Sure, Jax. Sorry,
No, you're good. If you were on the Arsenal board, are you sticking with Arteta? Okay, so this is going to be probably a topic of debate between me and James. So I really like Arteta. Now, here's the only reason why. James and I have actually talked about this recently. In my opinion, Arsenal have like the 8th or 9th best squad in terms of squad quality. I don't believe James actually agrees with me on that, but that's just my opinion. So I would say what Arsenal doing right now about...
One second, Lurkin. I understand. Next time, I got to get you on. I'm listening to you right now. I need to get you on, But yeah, go
on. So I think Arsenal's squad is actually, in terms of quality, like 8th or 9th in the league. So where they are, and even slightly above, you'd almost argue they're actually overperforming based on the other kind of squads and quality of squads they're coming up against. I think for me personally, I'd keep Arteta. And I'll tell you why. Because I think that if Arteta leaves, you'll find him at a Spanish club, or you'll find him in a German club maybe, or even another Premier League club, and you'll see him having success. And then Arsenal will have that kind of classic regret thing. The other thing I mentioned, I've asked James about this before, I already know his answer. Who's the replacement? Who are you bringing in that's going to do a better job than Arteta's doing right now? James, go.
But to say who can do a better job than a team that's languishing in, 9th, 10th place? Come on, Jack. I want to wait till the Europa League is done, and then we can find out. Because to me, if he doesn't win the Europa League, personally, we need to find a new man. Because the one thing I'm going to tell you, people talk about progression. Yeah? Has Arteta really progressed Arsenal in these last year and a half? Where is the progression? Because to me, we're worse than when we were on Emery. And then people want to bring up Jurgen Klopp. I'm sorry, but Jurgen Klopp's first full season at Liverpool, he got them to 4th place. And that was progression. Every single year during Jurgen Klopp's reign, there was progression. His first half season, they were in 2 cup finals. I understand they lost them both, but at least
with that squad,
but at least when they were competing in a certain manner.
Right.
Jack, we are not competing. This top 4 race is an absolute joke. And to think that we're not in it. Look at Tottenham. Look at Chelsea. Chelsea didn't even win today. Liverpool didn't even win yesterday. It is a travesty that we're not in it. And I understand like our squad isn't great, but are you telling me West Ham squad is really that great?
No. But I'd say
squad is really that special. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
West Ham's recruitment has been really, really good. I don't think we can underestimate that. And David Moyes is a wily old kind of fox, and he's making this West Ham team into Everton 2.0. He's got Thomas Souček. He brought in Kufal. He's made a couple of really nice kind of smart signings. Michail Antonio is 9. They've got good defense. Fabianski's playing well, So I don't think it's strictly a fair comparison. My only thing is everyone wants a manager out. But we never really give too much of a thought of who comes in. It's usually, right, manager out, where are we at now with who's coming in? The manager coming in needs to be doing a better job than the manager who's there right now. I don't know who that guy is. That's all I'm saying.
We'll just move on to a few comments here.
It says, did you know popular sports brand Arsenal actually have a football team and beat Pro Club Fulham in November of 2020? What? Dude, come on.
Listen, that is Kroenke's dream, but he wants to hear like Real Madrid right now. Oh my days.
Yes. Yep. Yes, they should.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Now, the punishment, if you want to be super harsh, would be relegating them to a conference. That for me, any other team would get punished that type of way. But because of the big six are so valuable to the Premier League, they're not going to get punished like that. The best thing possible is to deduct the maybe points, maybe the start of next season or this season, maybe this 10 season. Points each. You know,
James, going down to the conference is a big overreaction because technically they never left UEFA, they never left the Europa League, they never left the Premier League, they never left, you know, any of these kinds of things. So for me, docking of points this season, maybe so that these top 6 teams aren't in the top 4. That to me would be a perfectly reasonable punishment. They shot their shot and they messed it up. They shot their shot and they messed it up so badly.
For me, Real Madrid messed like Florentino Perez is just when I mean right now he must be in that. Do you remember that the video of Hitler, the movie of Hitler during the World War thing, and he went obviously like he shot himself at the end. That's why I think Perez is at this moment of time. It's one where like he had this dream plan of what he wanted, and then it just didn't happen. It did. And he's like scrambling here, there, everywhere. I'm still waiting for that resignation. But let's move on. Arteta shot himself before. Well.
Yeah, I mean, not blatantly, but I think he's slowly about to shoot himself in the foot. Do you think Arsenal will be able to hold on to the likes of Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Martinelli for the long haul? If so, do you think they could be the best front three in the world? No, hell no.
I won't say they'll be the best front three in the world, but you're looking at players who are going to have value for many years to come. And this is one thing that Arsenal, yes, I'll be happy to say, but this is one thing Arsenal have lacked. We've had a lot of players who are all right, but not players who have value. Right. Saka has a lot of value. If you were going to sell him right now, how much could we get from him? Emil Smith-Rowe, Martinelli. This is, as in, I won't say squad, but certain players there. This is some of the best young talent. No, this is the best young talent we've had since maybe 2007. 2008.
It's certainly something to build on. I'm going to say this now, like maybe James will disagree. I don't think Emil Smith-Rowe is going to be in a starting 11 of a Premier League winning team. I'll just put that out there.
I can agree with 6.
But sorry, with Sammy. Yeah, no, hey man, I'll give you that one. But yeah, I don't know about Emil Smith-Rowe. That'll be my main thing. I think Saka has all the potential. I think Gabriel Martinelli is right now better than Aubameyang and Lacazette. So I think the potential is there. Look, all this money they were looking to earn, they come up with the name Super League. I agree.
That is so true.
It is.
I'm pretty sure like cricket already took that name for one of their funny leagues. Like,
right.
Like think about it. We got the Champions League. You know how hard that sounds? You know, go Super League. Are you serious? That sounds like something that Vince McMahon would come up with. Like,
but James, you know what they'd probably do if they called it the Super League? I bet you they'd sell the naming rights to some sponsor for like £1 billion or something. That's what they'd probably do.
Probably like the Barclays Super League or something like that, or Amazon Super League.
Is it true if the Super League starts and you pull out as English 10, you will be in League 5? I'm not sure. So is that? Oh, so he's saying that you'll go back down to kind of the bottom. I don't think so, Jeff. I don't think so. I think that we're kind of James getting his credit.
That's the perfect one right there. That's the perfect one. I'm gonna take credit for that one. If you see anyone on Twitter, use that meme.
Credit.
I did it first. You know,
Jeff. I think because they never actually left, they're going to be able to get away with it. It'll maybe a points deduction, maybe some money coming out. Jed trying to defend Perez.
When I mean like Jed and Florentino Perez have this weird bromance. I don't know. Him and Perez must have secret meetings that we don't know about. I'm being deadly serious right now.
All clubs involved should be banned from all European competitions for next season. Man, I don't disagree.
I don't disagree like with you at all, Lurkin. I agree. In fact, if I really wanted to stick it to the owners, not the football club, because I feel like one thing that we need to be careful of is we need to punish the owners, not the football clubs. That is the biggest problem. Because do you really think Arsenal Football Club would want that, or Tottenham Football Club want? No, but the American owners want that. So we need to find a way to punish them mainly.
The players, the managers, the fans, everybody who actually gives a damn and actually has any sort of support for this club and represents, these clubs, you can't really punish them. I totally agree with James on this. You have to find a way of punishing the owners without really punishing the clubs and the fans. The one thing I will say about Lorcan's comment there, one way of punishing the owners in quite a big way is hitting them in their wallets, and not qualifying for the Champions League would do that. So
it's massive insult.
Dude, damn, Jack, that's one hell of a question, bro.
I was thinking about 20 points, but that's like drastic. So would you say about 9 to 10 points would be a fair? To be fair, 9 to 10 points isn't.
Thing is, James, Man City still win the league. I don't think you care about being docked points if you still win the league.
What?
Dude, it's funny because you'd have to dock them the same amount of points, and if you're trying to have Man City not win the league, Arsenal could get relegated. I'm not even kidding. That's the kind of thing we're talking about here. Like if you dock City,
I don't know, because Elon Musk would probably try to turn Arsenal into like space, like we'll be a team in space or
dude.
Like
yes, I'd be so for that.
Elon Musk, to be fair, but I want Dangote to be in charge of Arsenal. That's my dream. That's like that's who I want. Again, I guess it's a Nigerian connection.
James, Conor McGregor tweeted about trying to buy Manchester United. So, we may get some celebrity owners in here.
I think that Floyd Mayweather money must not be running out for him yet, because I know Dana White can't be paying him that much.
If the Super League goes ahead, you're going to have the next Chelsea after Bill Gates or Elon buy a club. Yeah, true. Like, guys, obviously Elon Musk and, Bill Gates aren't going to buy a club. You think, Bill Gates needs, he's got plenty of, what do you call it? Irons in the fire at the moment, and Elon Musk does too. They don't have time for this stuff.
Listen, he needs to fix Tesla, because I think someone died from like using one of their cars.
That's different money, guys. Bill Gates and Elon Musk, that's different money. Like, we talk about the Glazers, we talk about like these guys, Jeff Bezos of the world. It's different money.
And I think the last thing they want to do is own a football club. Like, they got a lot on the.
Dude, it's beneath them, man.
So,
Rui Faria, do you mean? I think Lorcan might mean Rui Faria.
Since Rui Faria left, Jose needs that extra experience and help. I've heard.
I reckon that Lorcan. I reckon that's an autocorrect from his phone or his computer or whatever. Jose, I think Jose can potentially be a bit rash, so I'd say having an assistant coach of some description around, just to be like, okay, dude, chill, let's try and focus the right way, probably means a lot. But he's very experienced at this point.
Well, look, I want to know from you, what do you think led to this? Because the awkward thing is, how can you let a manager leave?
And pay him so much money, I feel
like if Jose got sacked today, Tottenham have to pay him 30 million? I think he had like 4 years left on his deal. How does that work out? And to be fair about players thrown underneath the bus, it comes like we've done this in lectures, and I think it comes with the environment and like the way players are today. You, like, think about it. Jose before had players like Javier Zanetti, Frank Lampard, John Terry, who are warriors, who are willing to take criticism. Now he has to deal with certain players like Dele Alli and Paul Pogba, who, like, bear in mind, I like Paul Pogba, and I also like Dele Alli, who don't seem to take the criticism the way like Jose was able to give it before. Because I think they were talking about Drogba in the way how Mourinho would deal with him. Mourinho would just lambast Drogba, say, "You're not good enough. I'm going to try to sign Rooney," all this type of stuff, and he'd be like, "What?" But he would react to it.
Drogba's a grown man. Drogba doesn't mess around with that stuff.
And then you try it now with these sort of players, and like they don't react too well. And like we seen some of the stuff with or what's it called again, with the All or Nothing episodes on Amazon, where you can see his relationship with Dele Alli just kind of going in and out. And obviously the Danny Rose thing. What you also think about the Danny Rose, him hopping out and just laughing? Like, I need to know what you think about that. But let's move on to the next bit. Got Arvin Gazidis left. Wait, Arvin Gazidis left Milan.
Yeah, he was at Milan. He is now. Sorry, I don't know what he's doing now, but they've been.
No. He's at Arsenal. Did he resign?
He was.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, no. So yeah, he's gone to. So yeah, he's still at. Oh, he's still at Milan. Yeah.
Okay, so okay. I just thought that he resigned from Milan because he came out with this stupid thing how the European Super League is going to save football.
What's that, James? What was that reaction for? If Elon buys Spurs, I'm going to buy a Spurs rocket. Hey, dude, I'll buy in with you. Save me a spot. Don't think docking points would be fair. City and Arsenal would be punished a lot more severely. Yeah, no. Arsenal would lose all their players. Yeah, no. So basically, to actually punish City, you're going to need to dock them about 20 points, give or take. That would mean Arsenal are basically relegated. So for City to win the title and Arsenal to get relegated, even though they did the same thing, that's not fair. That's not fair. So they'd have to find a different way. James, I think, mentioned the idea of maybe the beginning of next season, maybe they start with a handicap. I think that works.
I think to me, I think that would be fair. To be fair, like
something has to happen.
Let's be honest. They all start with a handicap. They're still probably gonna all be in the same position. Like, let's be honest.
And James, let's be clear here, right? Let's be clear. Yeah, Jeff. Hey, man, I'm here for the long haul. I ain't got stuff on tomorrow, so
I got coaching in the morning, but it's all right.
But I think here's the thing, though, right? We talked about it earlier, very, very briefly. We don't really want to hurt the fans or the managers or the players, right? So anything that you're going to punish these clubs with, I don't think it's fair if it's just these owners' decisions. So I think what we need to start doing is putting in some laws or some policies or rules or something of that nature to prevent this kind of thing from happening again and making it a more fair league.
If Arsenal get deducted 20 points, technically we still have a chance of staying up. That's all I'm saying. We still have a chance of staying up. A strong chance. We're only 1 point down from the drop zone. So
but Man City would probably still win the league. It's not a fair. You know what I mean? That's why it's not fair. But yeah, no, guys, look, we need to find a better way of doing this for the European Super League because we've all been put through the ringer here. Like I said, emotionally, mentally, I'm tired. I haven't been doing anything, and I'm tired because of refreshing Twitter and reading all this stuff, absorbing all this info.
Lurkin, I want to ask you: do you really think you have a chance of getting Nagelsmann? Because I do understand if you react now, you have a bit of a better chance. But Bayern Munich have already made it clear who their man's gonna be a long time ago. I feel like they've been plotting to get Hansi Flick out, and Nagelsmann is their guy. You maybe can offer Nagelsmann more money, but do I really think he wants a Tottenham job or the Bayern job? Like, come on, German manager, biggest club in Germany with a new project. I feel like it'll be really hard for that to happen.
I'm just saying, look, and I'm just saying, if Tottenham come out super motivated with that kind of new manager pop or whatever, we could see something crazy. We could see an update. We've seen before. Graham Felder looking to buy a club with all the money they get from ripping off students. Yeah, I want my share.
Extortionate prices, Lurker. But to be fair, like I actually like my room. You know, I got a little discount, but let's just leave it there.
So what you want about this new league? It's a good storyline. Whoever scripted it should get Oscar. Hey man, I'm not gonna lie to you. James and I have been sending each other WWE memes about this.
I see some of the funniest memes. I see that. I would see like Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero with the Dominic storyline, and it was like a Cardi and the whole story. Oh, that's just so many funny memes. Please go onto Twitter and watch it. Twitter that was the best Twitter has been since the World War III stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Happened. To be fair,
be very exciting if those 6 handicap teams odds on who would win the league. Hey man, I think it's going to be hard to not pick like a Leicester or an Everton, a West Ham, something like that.
I'm pretty sure with 20 points, Leicester just would be impossible. It would be hard for them to mess it up, to be fair.
But saying that, City are kind of close to 20 points above Leicester right now, so it would actually probably be quite a close title race potentially. And hey, like James. Okay, James, let's talk this out for a second, okay? Because if this main video is supposed to be a little more about the European Super League, let's go through that for a second. So you win the league. let's say you do have that financial incentive, right? So if you win the league, you get the most money. If you come, if you're still in the league, so what's that? 17th, you get the least amount of money. What if next season, because you won the league the season before, you have a handicap or something, and it just goes kind of down like that? So the team who finishes first has the highest handicap, second lowest, and so on and so forth. So that then the next league, the team who managed to just stay up in 17th have that kind of a bit of a boost up to give them a chance. What do you think of that?
I understand.
I'm just spitballing.
Like, the logic behind it is like cool, but they're going to look at it to the point of view, okay, we all did the same thing, but we get punished the most for it. Like, I do understand, like, Man City, like, as a football club, they have the best players, but it wouldn't make sense for us to punish them differently to the rest of the team. I genuinely do believe that Man City were probably the least interested in the whole European Super League thing. Them and Chelsea, because, come on, do they really need more money? Does Roman Abramovich really want that much money? I think it was just down to all the American...
They didn't want to get left behind.
Owners, to be fair.
I'm just saying, I'm just spitballing. All I'm trying to say is that if we're trying to make a more competitive league where any season anyone could win, that's just one idea of something we could do.
To be fair, Nuno or Scott, I think Scott Parker to me is actually a great coach, and to me he'll go on to be a great thing. Nuno to me should be your number one option. I think what he's doing at Wolves, I think he's reached his highest potential. I like Wolves. It needs a better challenge, and Tottenham to me would be a fantastic role for him. Like what he brings as a coach, I think that would be a really, really good appointment for them. Also, I just also want to put something to you. If Zidane was available today, would you take Zidane at your football club? Because personally, would I want Zidane at Arsenal? I would do it in a heartbeat. He's one of the most underrated coaches in the world, Yeah. But everyone else, let me know. Would you take Zidane at your football club?
Quickly on that Lorcan thing as well. Like, cool thing about Nuno as well. He potentially has a big pull then for somebody like Pedro Neto or somebody like Jimenez or Leander Dendoncker or Ruben Neves or something like that, right? Somebody who they can potentially bring in and improve that squad because they need some help. On the new Champions League proposals, dude, it's awful. It's awful. I don't love it as it is, but like I said, I did a video on this. They are saving 2 spaces for teams who are high up in the UEFA coefficient ranking. So what that means is that a team like an Arsenal, a Tottenham, a Man United one odd season, right? They cannot do well, but then they still make it into the Champions League. That's basically what the European Super League wanted to do. UEFA have just given you a diluted version of what the European Super League wanted to do. All they care about is money. They're giving you 100 extra games so that they can make money off the broadcasting. There's no way that any team, apart from those 13 teams I keep talking about, is actually going to win the thing. But they want to put 100 more games in so that the governing body can make more money. It's despicable. It's despicable.
I feel like we need to give Zidane a bit more credit. I think tactically, he's one of the best managers in the world of setting his team up to win. It might not be the most glamorous thing in the world of a team pressing or a team playing in possession like the tiki-taka stuff, but what he does when he sets up his team, it's absolutely genius. Just see what he did against Barcelona and see what he did against Liverpool. But let's move on to Lurkin's comment here. Jack, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Zidane will never leave Madrid. Perez has him caged and living underneath his house like Joseph Fritzl. That guy will never... It's got to be big fun if he leaves that squad. Dude, I don't know.
Comment of all comments. That might be the comment of all comments.
Dude, that is absolutely ruthless.
I've been so infatuated with Joseph Fritzl the past 2 weeks. I was watching so many documentaries. So it's just weird how you brought that up.
Jesus Christ, man.
Oh my days!
They're making football so American that players are going to have to start carrying a gun around. Okay, bro. All right.
We love it.
Give Chelsea a few pence. Hey, I'll be honest. I don't love that corruption stuff, but we're already operating in a corrupt system. And if Chelsea,
all I want to say is that UEFA do not want to see Chelsea, Man City, or Real Madrid lift that trophy.
Yep.
It's Paris Saint-Germain or bust for UEFA.
Dude, you're right.
But again, we're going to do a preview on that match. I feel like what has happened in the last 2 weeks has ruined what to me as a tie is one of the most intriguing ties I've ever seen. Because I don't think I've ever seen Chelsea and Real Madrid in a match ever in my like in my lifetime watching that. I'm probably gonna have to Google it and I'll probably see one in like black and white. But like, I mean, they've absolutely ruined it, but I guess it is what it is at this moment of time. We are going to come with a Champions League preview soon, so guys, please watch out for that too. We're going to move in.
Jeff, I tell you what, I've been looking at this comment and I've been waiting for it to come up. Brendan Rodgers at Spurs, to me, would just reek of Mauricio Pochettino at Spurs. Now, for me, what I think that means is that we'd be like, man, I love watching this team play. It's so good. They're overachievers. They're this, they're that. It's so brilliant, so brilliant. But I think when it comes to the big games and the finals, like it has been for Spurs for a while now, I'm not trying to roast them, it's just facts. I think Brendan Rodgers is that bottle job kind of guy, just like somebody like a Pochettino was at Tottenham, and they have been for years. I think they need a manager with a different mindset. Now, the reason why I'm kind of thinking of going back on that is they brought in Jose Mourinho. If that's not different mindset, I don't know what is. So, I don't know, man. I think Brendan Rodgers is a great coach. I just don't know about him as a manager.
I think Brendan Rodgers as a coach is excellent, but I think he suits Tottenham to the point of view of like they both know how to bottle things.
Right.
but Brendan Rodgers, top coach. And again, looking at what Tottenham has built under Pochettino and what they've built in the last 20 years of footballing point of view, this is probably the best appointment for Tottenham overall, if I'm being honest. Top 5 youngsters in a prem.
Okay, wait, Jack. What's a youngster, Jack? Are we saying under 21, under 23, under 18? What are we saying? I reckon under 21, right?
If you're going under 21, let's go Phil Foden, Saka.
Yep.
Mason
Pedro Neto.
Pedro Neto. But how old is he? Well, he's like 45, right?
Pedro Neto's 45, bro. Pedro Neto, I think he's 20. I'll have to Google it, but I'm pretty sure he's 20.
Neto. And who else is the other great youngster in the Premier League?
Oh dear, that's
going. Give me another name.
Pedro Neto is 21. Pedro Neto is 21.
Okay, yeah, let's go 21. Give me another youngster.
It's it's tough. That's kind of a question where I'd want to have a bit of time to research and have kind of a think about that. But I think we've named most of them already. I would say there. Trying to think about people we've missed. Jack Breslin, do you think the European Super League could have been brought in a different manner, at a more appropriate time to force it through, or was it always bound to get buried with the backlash? As far as I'm concerned, the reason why they put it through at this point in time is because there are no fans in stadiums. I think they wanted to try and do it kind of, quietly and kind of hope that no one noticed and everyone goes, oh, there's this new thing instead of the Champions League. But luckily people got hold of it and kind of realized what it was going to be. I think at this point, it potentially rules out any future European Super Leagues. Now, I never thought I'd say that. I really did never think I'd say that. But the way it's been handled and the way that they've kind of gone for it and then bailed like immediately afterwards, I think that the next time the European Super League or something like that gets brought up, people are going to shoot it down even faster and even harder. James, what do you think of the ESL? Could it have been brought in a different way?
How could you possibly bring this in a different way? I feel like if they were going to say what they said and just say, okay, we don't want all the best teams to do that, it was never, ever, ever, ever going to work. You know, they did it now. This is the worst time to do it. But as Jack said, they did it when fans are not in the building. But I think the timing of it to me is worse because we're in a pandemic and you see a lot of teams struggling when it comes to money. That is the worst part about it. And it just shows you, like, you've seen some of these people, we're seeing a lot of conference teams and like League One teams struggling to pay players, and you're still seeing these millionaires still want more money in this type of situation. Like, what? How does that make sense? But
the issue, guys, is we're going back to the status quo. We're going back to the status quo, which is these smaller teams still struggling, it not being competitive. We're back to that. Something has to change. We need to keep the momentum going. I've seen a lot of tweets as well about, where's the same energy when it comes to racism? We need to keep this level of intensity and outrage up over these kinds of things.
I'm so glad Jack brought that up, because watching football unite and watching everyone speak up, think about this, guys. Sky Sports spent 2 hours of their broadcasting talking about the European Super League. Do you really think that they would spend 2 hours talking about racism? Do you really think you see all these football clubs coming out and making all these huge statements? Like, come on, open your eyes and see what is going on here. If you want to get rid of something, you know what to do. We know what to do, and like, we have to do it somehow, some way.
They bring on Darren Bent for a quick 5-minute little interview, and then they move on to the next thing.
Michael Richards and like, he'll talk about racism and be like, I'm not really sure it's racist, but we gotta move on. I'm like, come on.
Right. So, guys, in terms of changes, we need to have the same energy. And unfortunately, the silence on a lot of stuff speaks volumes. And it's got to be everybody doing it. Can't just be a few people. And it can't just be this performative activism, which we've seen recently.
And Sammy, yeah, you're right. Antonio Conte, to me, is one of the best coaches in the world. He's been one of the best coaches in the world for the past 10 years. He's
a top 3. Yeah.
For me, without that, what he did to Chelsea in our first season is to me might be the best first season the coach has ever achieved in like the Premier League. Right. Think about where Chelsea were and what he made them to do. Like, they were outstanding. Like, he really changed it. I know 3 at the back always existed, but he made 3 at the back like, so what's the word? Popular. You see it in like grassroots teams nowadays. Every grassroots team playing, they'll pop a 3 at the back for no reason.
And Sammy, the Inter team now, right? They're borderline kind of at times they're unplayable. He's got Lukaku. Lukaku and Conte are best mates. They signed Achraf Hakimi. I'm sorry about that, Sammy, but they signed Achraf Hakimi. They got Christian Eriksen playing good football again. Lautaro Martinez is almost like a secondary kind of option for Lukaku, but that means he can be involved in more goals. And they've finally beaten Juve. They don't get the kind of 10, 11, 12, 13 titles. We're cutting them off now, and hopefully they won't win one for another couple of years.
How can I forget Gabriel Martinelli? But the problem with Gabriel Martinelli is that the fact of the matter is he's too injury prone. Like, when he reaches a peak, you're thinking, wow, this guy's going to kick on. He gets injured again. Like, do you know how heartbreaking it was to me to see him go down against Sheffield United, hold his ankle? I was scared for my life, thinking, oh my days, he's gonna be done again. Until I can rely on him to be fit week in and week out, we can't put him in this top 10. He will be like Robin Van Persie. Remember what Robin Van Persie was like? People just look at the last 2-3 years of Arsenal with Robin Van Persie. Van Persie was at Arsenal for like 7-8 years before he reached that point. So we just can't say, go.
Just a couple of other names to throw in for the top 5 young players, which I've just kind of thrown up here. Ilian Meslier for Leeds, the goalkeeper. I keep forgetting he's only 20 years old. That kid plays like he's way older. Ferran Torres, hasn't been mind-blowing, but has been solid. Curtis Jones at Liverpool. Wesley Fofana is a name that I'm high on. I think he's terrific. Tariq Lamptey at Brighton. Somebody like Callum Hudson-Odoi. And then Reece James as well as the Chelsea fullback is just another name that we forgot to mention. But to me, Pedro Neto is a game changer, guys. He's got a chance to be special. Every ad bait, bring it up in most conversations, reinforce the message at the beginning of every game. The outcry online has been huge after each incident. What else? Hey, it's not Twitter though, dude. That's the problem, Jack. It's not. We don't just need it on Twitter. We don't just need it online. And an advert does nothing. We need a real kind of focus on it. Like James mentioned, we have... Sorry, go ahead, James.
I get you there. But when I see players getting a 10-match ban for saying racist acts, but like if they're found doping, they might get 6 months. If they're found biting someone, they might be banned from all football activities for like 2-3 months. Like, think about it. There's difference in like the way they there's difference in the way people treat this stuff. And like the fact of the matter is, how many times do we hear outcries of players have a bad game and then they're getting racist abuse, and then all Twitter and all that, they're not doing enough for it. They're not banning these people. We're not looking for that act. We, as you've seen right now, we can take this even further in like make it a thing where racism is abolished in the game. Again, it won't go away, but we can find a way that we punish it so much that people are scared to actually say these type of things.
One thing I'll mention, Jack, and obviously we appreciate your comment, and we're not going to kind of criticize people's opinions openly on here. I don't think that's smart or the right thing to do. We're not about that. But the guy who faced racist abuse in that game got a 3-match ban. He got a 3-match ban for receiving that racist abuse. Now, a couple of things that I think can happen. I think James hits the nail on the head. Yeah, UEFA, the domestic leagues, they need to hand out much stronger punishments for racist abuse. The other issue, and this is, I think, something that not a lot of people talk about, the clubs need to start having severe disciplinary actions for players who have been proven to have been racist to other players. I'm talking about taking players' wages away for multiple weeks, being kind of excluded from the first team for, a season, half a season, something like that. If we make the punishments more severe, we're going to have less incidents in the game, and hopefully that will then translate through to the fans. And it's going to be hard for the fans not to be racist. There's a mob mentality thing there, which is going to be hard to cure.
Again, we can get into that sort of stuff later on, but again, we want to stick with the good stuff and football. Put Hakimi playing the back four.
I'm not so sure, bro. Hakimi is fantastic. Now, if you're playing as a Bayern Munich or a Barcelona or a Real Madrid or a Man City or a top kind of one of these teams, I think, of course, he can. But if you stick him, say, I don't know, kind of a mid-table team, I don't know if you can rely on Hakimi defensively all game, because he's going to be way up the pitch. He'll get lost.
So, guys, thank you for all these comments today. Like, wow, the interactions has been absolutely amazing by everyone. I really, really appreciate everyone coming out, giving their opinions. Oh, we got one more thing.
Don't think people would watch 2 hours of coverage on racism. Would love to see it, and I think it's absolutely disgusting. Slavia Prague only got 10 games, but how else do you want them to cover? Hey, man, these are questions. These are questions and concerns that we still don't have the answers to, and I think everybody's still trying to figure it out. My dad is constantly a victim of racism, and in the house, one slightly racist remark, and I'm dead. We need a kick in the balls for racist. Hey, I'm not gonna agree or not agree, but you can see the smile on my face right now. Here's what I'll say, okay? And then this is just me, and I guess James will kind of call it a day here. If you start treating your fellow man, regardless of race, color, creed, gender, all that stuff, if you start treating them just like the way you treat everybody else, I think that'll be one hell of a way to move forward. So I think if you can do one thing, start treating your fellow man like you treat everybody else, and you're good.
Guys, we've been chatting for a while right now, and again, the discussion has been absolutely excellent, seeing different sort of things. We didn't even talk about like Ed Woodward leaving his post. We didn't even talk about who's the Juventus
Agnelli, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge is on the UEFA board now. I think that's fantastic for football. What an asset he's going to be for UEFA.
There's so much to talk about, and I feel like me and Jack may come live tomorrow, depending on like what goes on. Jack has a video coming out. I don't know if we're going to put it out on why the European Super League is going to be a good thing for football, but guys, thank you for watching. Please like this video. Please subscribe. Please check out all our stuff, and just keep on coming with all the content. Just keep on coming and watching our stuff, sharing our stuff, and making this as big as possible. I love what everyone did today. Hey, Jack, thank you for coming on.
We appreciate that.
Really appreciate it. Appreciate it. Jack.
If there's one thing that kind of me and James appreciate, we love just chatting with one another, but James and I feel kind of the same about a lot of topics. So if you can throw us a question out of left field and hit us with something that maybe we're going to disagree on, we love that stuff. So we appreciate interacting, and if you hit us in the comment section of our videos, we're always going to reply to. So appreciate it.
Also, Jeff, Sammy, Lurkin, everyone who's watching today, guys, thank you for watching.
Shout out Sammy.
And yes, Sammy, all the way. Perez out. Thank you for this box to box football, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much, guys.